Moise Kalunga, Antoine, Council Secretary KABOMPO. With your indulgence, Chair, permit me just to allow my officers to introduce themselves. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and permanent witnesses. Siangapo is my name. Thank you.
Your position.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorables. My name is Namatama Mubiana. I'm Director of Planning.
Thank you.
The Director of Finance, KABOMPO Town Council.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorables, and good morning, our permanent witnesses. My name is Nsonga Prince, Acting Director of Engineering. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, permanent witnesses. I'm Kalumna Lungowe, the socio-economic planner.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorables. Good morning, members. I'm Lembo Siachwena, Internal Auditor, KABOMPO Town Council.
Thank you. Can you the mic the fine there?
Chairperson, good morning, and all honorable members of the committee and the permanent witnesses. My name is Jonathan Mushiri. I'm the Senior Procurement Officer.
Thank you very much. Auditor General's Office.
Thank you and good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members, Council Secretary and your team. Good morning. My name is Patricia Malaila, Director from Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, CS and the team. Siwira Head, Principal Auditor, Solwezi Audit Office.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Stephen. I'm the Assistant Director, Solwezi Provincial Audit Office.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Munyamba. I'm the Parliamentary Liaison Officer, Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning, Chairperson and your committee. My name is Luvinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, CS and your management team. My name is Mlenga Chama, coming from the Office of Accountant General, Minister of Finance.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members of the committee. Good morning, KABOMPO. My name is Achubia Davis, State Director, Local Authorities Department, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Audit Division, and you are welcome.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. KABOMPO Town Council, good morning, and you are welcome. My name is Joyce Kubansa from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members of this committee, KABOMPO. Good morning, and you're welcome. My name is Mutadi Mishek from the Local Government Service Commission. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Secretariat.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Keke Makua from Office of the Clerk.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Good morning to you and other honorable members present, our permanent witnesses. Good morning. CS KABOMPO, good morning with your team. I am Chirimboy Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, honorable members of Parliament, Honorable Kamundo.
Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Good morning. Introduce yourself. Skip the greeting you're greeted.
Good morning.
Good morning,
sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, my honorable colleagues, members of Parliament. Good morning, our permanent witnesses. Secretariat, good morning, Mr. Chimboy. It's good to see you today here. Yeah. KABOMPO Council, you're welcome to this committee. I want to borrow the words of Honorable Fomitete. Be calm. You are just witnesses in this committee. You are not accused persons. My name is Elliot Kamondo. I'm a member of Parliament from Fumbai. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Chair, thank you so very much and good morning. Good morning, my colleagues, honorable members. Good morning, Secretariat. Good morning, our
dear permanent witnesses, KABOMPO Town Council, good morning. Honorable Dr. Singombe, representing the people of Dundumwezi in Kalomo Southern Province. You are welcome. Good morning, Honorable Muteo. Thank you so very much, sir.
Honorable Kalobo.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you. Good morning, honorable colleagues, Secretariat, all our permanent witnesses, KABOMPO Town Council, good morning, and welcome to this committee. Kalwopa Vyuma is my name. I represent the good people of Sakena constituency, Kito in the Copper Belt.
Thank you very much, KABOMPO Town Council. You are welcome. My name is Munda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, was sitting in for the chair who is coming shortly. Before we start, let me allow, Honorable Mwene, he can't be a doctor, this one. Doctor of what, witchcraft? Please, introduce yourself.
Chair, thank you so much for allowing me to introduce myself. KABOMPO, you're welcome. Before your committee, good morning to you. Morning everyone else. I'm Wayne Elhamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango. Thank you. Mangango is in Western Province, just next to you. Kaoma District is next to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, KABOMPO Town Council. Before we get into business, we want to confer you with the immunity that members of Parliament enjoy under control of the laws of Zambia. That whatever you say during your interaction will not be used against you unless you choose to mislead your committee. I have no doubt in my mind that you will not take that route, and that this morning the Secretary will give us factual information, the information that we use to generate a report to Honorable Madam Speaker. With that said, let me invite you now to make your submission before your committee.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning once again. Permit me, Chair, to present the memorandum of the controlling officer for KABOMPO Town Council to this honorable committee on the Constituent Development Fund for financial year ended 31st December 2023. Chair, our report is contained in paragraph 63 of the Auditor General's report, and the appendices as mentioned, as indicated. I'll go straight to page 6 here. I'll start by the specific audit findings, Chair. The first query is on delayed projects. In responding, Chair, management acknowledges the auditor's finding, and which took state that the cause of a delay and the status of the project are tabulated in the table below. Chair, there were 12 projects that were noted as incomplete by the time of audit, but the cause of query is the same as we presented. I think last year the same query came. The cause was due to delayed publication of CDF guidelines as we presented last time, and the approval process which was done then centrally at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. And the length delay actually in the process of clearing contracts by Attorney General and before devolution of the process to the provinces. But I wish to state in our comment that all the 11 projects are done, complete and handed over, with the exception of one, which is at 40%. The drilling of bores in Dikeli, Nyachawa, and Ndundwelo were unsuccessful during evaluation stage. There was no successful bidder, and have since been re-advertised. Appendix number 1, Chair, will give the details of my submission. The remedial measures, as a result of decentralization and approval process, management will endeavor completing the project on time.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed, let the chair introduce himself, and there is one man
Good morning, Chair.
My name is Honorable Mishek Mteto Nyambos. I represent the people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province, and I'm privileged to chair this committee. The humble servant.
Chair, good morning, and KABOMPO, good morning. Motelo Mishek, your neighbor. We bring all the fish. This year you will enjoy. Mitete.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mlunda, KABOMPO Council. Okay, so you can continue.
Thank you, Chair. The second query on A, page 4, is failure to implement projects, that is the rural electrification project. On the management response, cause of queries, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the query was caused by Rural Electrification Authority cost estimates which were amounting to 2.3 million from the initial budgeted amount, that was 1 million, approved by the ministry, as the project could not be executed in the period under review. Action taken, the matter was sent back to CDFC committee in order to request for additional funding according to the budget amounts represented by the local authority. Appendix 2, Chair, gives the details of my submission. The remedial measures, management will endeavor to allocate sufficient funds to projects for timely execution. On B, delayed completion of drilling of installation of 5 boreholes. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the query was caused by the contractor abandoning the site after drilling a number of dry boreholes. The contract was terminated and the tender advertised, but non-responsive in the first place. However, the outstanding boreholes at Dikeli, Nyachawa, and Dundwilo, as opposed to Kande, which was stated in the report. Action taken, the contract has since been re-advertised. Appendix 3, Chair, will give details. Remedial measures, management will endeavor completing the project on time. C, construction on health post at Mulundu. Construction of health post in Mulundu.
Mulunda? It has been a week. Huh? There was the Mulunda Women Club. It was Mulunda in Mfumbwe. KABOMPO Mulunda again. Thank you. Continue, yes.
Thank you, Chair. On this query, there are 2 parts. One is variation without authority, and the second part is delayed completion. On the first part, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the query was caused by non-submission of variation of contract to the Treasury and Attorney General then. Action taken. Variation has since been approved by the controlling officer via the delegated authority from the Ministry of Rural Government and Rural Development. Appendix 4 gives full details, Chair. Remedial measures. With existing decentralization, the Council ensure timely approval of documents. The second part is delayed completion. Because of query, Chair, the management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and state that the contractor had abandoned the project. Action taken, the contract was terminated and retendered for the second time, as the first attempt held no results because there was no successful bidder. Appendix 5 will give details. Remedial measures, the Council will ensure timely completion of projects and consider taking back the matter to CDFC committee for price adjustments. D on page 9, Chair, failure to recover funds from the contractor under the construction of a health post at Chatunga. Cause of query, management acknowledges the auditor's finding and states that the query was caused by the council failing to recover an amount totaling to 36,027 kwacha. Action taken, management wishes to state that the council has written to the contractor to recover the funds, and the matter was referred to the legal advice at Solwezi Municipal Council Legal Services. Because you may recall, Chair, that at that time the town councils had no legal department, but now I think we are grateful to the Local Government Service Commission. They have deployed officers. Appendix 6 will give details. Remedial measures, a council will endeavor timely completion of projects. The E is delayed completion of construction of 1/3 at Karunga Community School. On management response, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and wish to state that the query was caused by the contractor's request to extend the contract duration. Action taken, the project has since been completed and handed over. So Appendix 6 will give details to that submission here. The remedial measures, the council will endeavor timely completion of projects. F is delayed completion of the construction of 1/3 classroom block at Nkuruwachi Secondary School. The cause of query, management acknowledges the auditor's finding and said that the query was caused by the contractor's request to extend the contract duration. Action taken, the project has since been completed and handed over. Appendix 8 will give details of my submission here. Remedial measures, the council will endeavor timely completion of projects by cautioning the contractors. G, construction of 1/3 classroom block and staff house, terminated contract. Management response, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and states that the query was caused by the contractor abandoning the site for the construction of a staff house and not the construction of 1/3 classroom block as indicated in the report. That's just a correction there. The action taken, the contract was terminated and the matter was reported to the police station, and the council has since engaged the lawyers to pursue the matter. The project was re-advertised and the new contractor is currently executing works on site that have progressed well. Appendix 9 will give details to my submission here. Remedial measures, the management will endeavor timely completion of projects by cautioning contractors. H is the submission of skills development bursary applications for approval. The cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and state that the query was caused by poor response where few applicants were received. The council therefore extended the submission period. However, the few applications which were received were submitted in time before 31st March 2023. Action taken, applications were approved on 8th February 2023 on time, while the approval of 19th October 2023 was as necessitated by intense community sensitization, because we wanted, I think, everyone to come on board. The first applications, they were not well distributed across the communities of KABOMPO. Appendix 10 will give details there. Management, remedial measures, management will endeavor timely submission of skills and bursary and timely sensitization of the communities. Eyes on wasteful expenditure, Dankba College of Applied Sciences and Technology. management response. The cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the author's finding and wish to state that the query was caused by students dropping out of school due to various reasons. Action taken: the council has since engaged the school and funds have been fully recovered. Appendix 11 will give us details. Remedial measures: management will continue engaging the school on student affairs to avoid delays. J. Chair, the queries is on letter submission of youth women empowerment grants application for approval. Cause of query: management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings and state that the query was caused by the CDFC deferring the matter as a result of low number of applications received. Action taken: the beneficiaries' applications have since been successfully approved and funds dispersed. Appendix 12 will give us details. Remedial measures: the council will continue sensitizing the community. Query A: an implemented business venture by Kanyaumbu and Chuma Kasweka cooperatives. Cause of query: management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and said that the query was caused by the cooperatives not implementing the business ventures. Action taken: the hammer mills are now operational and being housed at the independent places. Appendix 13 will give us evidence. Remedial measures: management to continue monitoring the beneficiaries. Query on eyes: unsecured equipment, non-functional groundnut sheller. Cause of query: the query was caused by unsecured equipment and non-functional groundnut sheller. Action taken: management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and state that the groundnut sheller has since been made operation. Appendix 13 will give us details. Remedial measures: management to continue monitoring the performance of the clubs. M is irregular amendments or variation without approval. Table 9 shows some contracts that were valid, giving a cumulative amount is indicated. So management response: the cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and state that the query was caused by non-submission or variation of contracts to the Treasury and Attorney General, because the Treasury and Financial Management Circular number 6 of 2023 and the Public Procurement Amendment Act number 17 of 2023 gave authority to principal officers to approve the variations. Action taken: variations were approved by the controlling officer. Appendix number 14 will give us details there. Remedial measures: with existing decentralization, the council will ensure timely approval of the documents. Failure to follow procurement procedures. Cause of query: the query was caused by failure to follow procurement procedures on the procurement of banana boats. Action taken: management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and wish to state that the matter was ratified by the procurement committee. Appendix number 15 will give us details. Remedial measures: council will endeavor to ensure procurement authority thresholds prescribed in the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020 are adhered to. Failure to avail tax clearance certificates of suppliers. Cause of query, Chair: the query was caused by the suppliers of desks submitting tax registration certificates instead of their general tax clearance certificate due to lack of understanding by suppliers on the difference between the two documents, as most thought the documents were interchangeable. There we were dealing with suppliers that are local, that had lacked know-how on distinguishing between the documents. Action taken, the management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and wish to state that the suppliers have since submitted the general tax clearance certificates and are available for verification as indicated on appendix number 1610. Remedial measures, the council management to engage the suppliers in order to enlighten them on a difference between tax certificates and tax registration documents, and to ensure all relevant documents are readily available for audit and other purposes always. Unaccounted for stores, Chair, management response. Unaccounted for stores was due to the gap that was created in the office as a result of the sickness of the officer bearer then. The action taken, management acknowledged the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the unaccounted for stores have since been fully accounted for and records are available for verification. Remedial measures, management will endeavor to improve efficiency of stores management. Permit me, Chair, to look at the cross-cutting issues on appendices, beginning from page 22. The first one, Chair, is a budget funding and expenditure. The cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and the report of the Auditor General and wish to state that the query was caused by retained amount of 115,681 kwacha withheld at source for the insurance of the CDF motor vehicle. The action taken, the insurance was centrally done by the Ministry. Appendix 18 gives us details there. Remedial measures, management to endeavor utilizing the funds within the financial year. Appendix 2, total unspent funds. The management response, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the Auditor General's findings and wish to report that the failure to spend the money was as a result of procurement of earth-moving equipment being re-advertised since the first one was cancelled due to changes in specifications in accordance with section 69, subsection 1 of the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020 of the laws of Zambia, and loan applications not meeting the criteria set by the bank then for them to be cleared. Action taken, management has so far paid a total of 24,193,179.39. Remedial measures, management to endeavor utilizing the funds within the financial year. Appendix 2.1, unspent funds, that's community projects. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the report of the Auditor General and wish to report that the failure to spend the money was as a result of the procurement of earth-moving equipment being re-advertised twice, as the first one was cancelled due to changes in specification in accordance with the Act I already quoted and the laws that prescribes the procurement. There was a gap also to what was created here in the transfer of the office bearers in the procurement department. So action taken, management has so far paid a total of 5.355 million. Appendix 20 will give us details there. Remedial measures, management to endeavor utilizing the funds within the financial year. Appendix 2.2, unspent funds. Empowerment grants. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the report from Auditor General and wishes to state that the query was caused by cooperatives not having bank accounts during the financial period under review. Action taken, the cooperatives have since obtained bank accounts and have been paid the amounts allocated to them. Appendix number 19 gives us details. Remedial measures, management to endeavor utilizing the funds in the financial year. Appendix 2.2 and spend funds again on empowerment grants. Management wishes to acknowledge the report and states that the query was caused by cooperatives not having bank accounts, similar thing. Action taken, the cooperatives have since obtained bank accounts and have since been paid. The same appendix 19 gives us details. Appendix 2.4 secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the findings of the Auditor General and state that the query was caused by the last 2022 batch approved students reporting in 2023. Action taken, the reconciliation of the 2023 CDF performance was undertaken and the results are shown in the table below. Appendix 21 will give us more details in the analysis. So remedial measures, management to endeavor utilizing funds within the financial year. Appendix 2.5 and spend funds, there was an administrative cost on CDF and a spend fund of 60,100. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the report of Auditor General and report that the query was caused as a result of failure by the Council to utilize 60,100 on administrative component of 2023 CDF allocation. Action taken, the funds were utilized in the following financial year in 2024 as a result of ongoing grants and projects which were being completed in 2024. Appendix 22 gives us details. Remedial measures, management will endeavor utilizing the funds within the financial year. Appendix number 3 on completed projects. The cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the report of Auditor General. The query was caused by the contractors delaying in execution of works due to lengthy contract clearance procedures from the Ministry, Treasury and Attorney General in Lusaka. Action taken, the projects were completed in the year 2024, except for just one on the boreholes, 3 boreholes that were still a work in progress. Appendix number 1, which we gave earlier, gives a detailed report on the projects that have been completed. Remedial measures, management to endeavor utilizing funds within the financial year. Appendix number 4, 2023 community projects. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the report of Auditor General and wish to report that the query was caused as a result of failure by the Council to commission 7 projects. Action taken, the projects were commissioned as will be evidenced on next appendix number 23. Appendix 5 is analysis of performance on youth, human and community, which is empowerment grants. Management response. Management wishes to acknowledge the Auditor General's finding and states that the query was caused by the applicant not having bank details. Action taken. The funds amounting to 400,000 were paid in the following financial year 2024. Appendix 19 will give details here. Remedial measures, management endeavors to utilize the funding within the financial year. Appendix 7, failure to account for funds, management response, management acknowledges the Auditor General's finding and report that the query was caused by the cooperative failure to account for the grants given to them. The Council sent reminders to account for funds, and the matter has since been reported to the police because we suspect the cooperatives could have squandered the money. Chair. Appendix number 24 will give us details. Remedial measures management to endeavor enforcing the law on the defaulters. Appendix 8, performance analysis on soft loans. Cause of query, management which acknowledges the Auditor General's finding and states that the Council disbursed loans to the successful applicants amounting to 4.7 million, comprising of 2022 and 2023 CDF loan components. This was caused by delays in the Ministry signing the Memorandum of Understanding with the banks, which was only concluded in 2023. Action taken, the Council has since dispersed both 2022 and 2023 funding as tabulated on Appendix number 25. Appendix 9 is failure to recover loans. Cause of query, management wish to acknowledge the auditor's finding and report that the query was caused by the bank failing to avail loan disbursements to the Council. Action taken, the bank has since disbursed the loan repayment to the Council amounting to 987,351. The matter has since been reported to the CDFC for reallocation. Appendix 26 will give us details, Chair. Remedial measures management will endeavor enforcing the law on defaulters. Appendix 10, secondary school and skills development bursaries. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the report of Auditor General and said that the query was caused by students not graduating within the year under review, due to some students undertaking programs that were more than 1 year. Action taken so far, the remaining 162 skills development and 49 secondary students have since graduated. Appendix number 27 will give us details there. Remedial measures management will endeavor enforcing the law for as the same. Appendix 12, beneficiaries of secondary boarding and skills development bursaries not pursuing skills development courses. Management wishes to acknowledge the Auditor General's report on 8 students who were pursuing engineering courses as opposed to skills development courses. Action taken, the management has since removed engineering courses under the skills development bursaries, as can be seen in the 2024 and 2025 approved list. Chair, there was no proper guide on which skills and programs amount to skills and non-skills, and we assumed those that were pursuing courses like automotive and electrical at certificate level were skills. Appendix 28 will give us details, Chair. Remedial measures, management will endeavor to consider skills development courses going forward. Chair, that marks the end of my submissions to this August House. I submit.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary, for that end of submission. Honorable members, it's now time to ask points of clarifications. Honorable member from Itete, then we shall come to Dundumwezi, then Dr. Mwanza.
Chair, thank you very much. CS, we are grateful for the elaborate presentation. Just to
on page 4, are they the same on page 6?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then let's go to page 4. Drilling of boreholes in Dikeri, Nyachihawa, and in Ndumweri were unsuccessful during evaluation. They were unsuccessful. That is your response. Stage. Because there were no successful bidder. Chair. There was no bidder. And have since been re-advertised. But right on the what you've given us, it is at 40%. That which was unsuccessful and had no bidder. So I want you to help your committee as to how unsuccessful project without a bidder can be at 40%. When you go to page 6, the contract was terminated. So just try to put your committee in some. Those are the clarifications. Thank you very much. Council Secretary, you can start with those two. And thirdly, this is here it's 2022, here it's 2023, whatever the case, this is 2025. We are still struggling to finish this. You've done well. The other things, I'm happy. Well done. Well, that's what we want. But clarify on this one. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Council Secretary. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Honorable, for that elaborate question. First, let me just start by stating and acknowledging to the Honorable that the contract under review truly is 2022, which sits under on the delay part under the submissions made. Then clarifying on the number, the 40%, these projects were allotted, in fact there were 15 boreholes loaded in 3 slides. So the first one was done 100%, the second one 100%, then the third one, this is where the contractor drilled 2 boreholes out of 5. So the 40,
let him finish. Just there with your indulgence. Which contractor? Because there was unsuccessful bid. So which contractor?
I thought I first
let's moderate and have a smooth engagement. So before you respond, I should allow Honorable to finish. Then I will give you a chance to respond.
Thank you, sir.
Are you through, Honorable? Yes. Okay, now Council Secretary, you can respond.
Thank you, Chair. The contractor was the same contractor that scooped the 3 slots when we advertised. So it progressed by drilling the first 10 and then moving on to the other ward, which was the last one where he did 2 balls. And then after hitting several dry balls, he abandoned. I think, Honorable, you recall in my presentation, I did mention that the contractor abandoned the site. So this is when this contract was terminated and advertised. But if you look at the findings, many, I think on appendices I'll be able to take through, the amounts, it's like they were not recruitive to attract maybe the contractors to move in the site to mobilize. Because I think if the amounts that was sitting were far below, I think the amount that can attract a contractor to mobilize himself and get to the site. So this clarifies the 40%. 40% is the 2 projects done on the same, and then 3 remaining, getting 40%. So we are still struggling, but I can comfortably confirm that we have now finally found the contractor in the less submission. On the attachment, you will find the first advert, which was unsuccessful, and then the second advert, where now the bidder has been found. As we speak, we are at contract signing, and we hope this person will hit the ground and will do anything. Hope ups are satisfied myself, Chair.
No, you haven't. What can satisfy us is the document, the contract document of the boreholes. If you share the contract document, it will tell us how many boreholes in that contract. Because the way this report has been done, it's very difficult to know. Because you have indicated that these boreholes were unsuccessful because there were no bidders. Then here in your response you say 40% completed. So we are at a loss. Honorable Mtelo?
Yes, I hear you. The problem is what you are saying and what is what? Yeah. How do we reconcile? Should you read or I should read again?
No. You are clear, Chair.
Yes. So where is the contract of all what you've said? Which can now explain to say, please, what I'm explaining is here. What you have written here, unsuccessful what? Bidder at 40%. How? Then you have re-advertised. Again, it's what? Unsuccessful. You've just now finished to say, as per now, we now at the
contract signing.
Where they are not flowing properly. What you are talking about now and what is written. Just reconcile so that we make what? Progress. Beyond that, we cannot continue having a 2022 project hanging to date. No. But reconcile that together with your team. I can see they are big. Yes, it's allowed. They call it a tete, even if we are not hearing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, tete, for that. Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we thought first and foremost, the picture presented as evidence on Appendix 1. We can maybe move to just page 4 on that list. Because there are two positions we stated on the same project. The one indicating at 100% complete, and then the one indicating at 40% complete. So it's such unfortunate, Chair, that we couldn't carry the contract documents to state and give their narrative explanation on the same. But for indulgence, we can still make available the entire contract, Chair. But otherwise, that's a position I submit here.
Oh, every moment you finish presenting, you should switch off your mic.
Thank you, Chair.
It's off now? Okay. Last follow-up on this.
Thank you, Chair. You indicated to say the amounts could not sufficient. Have you done the variations so that now the one on site, according to you currently, will not have a problem with the price? Chair, if they have, where is the documentation to say the amounts was this? Now, since we had a problem and the prices have gone high, this is what we've done. Do you have that evidence? Chair, are you seeing this? Yes.
Yes, yes.
You've not seen him. He's doing this. I don't know what this means. Maybe you ask him.
It means nix. You're the one who uses the word nix. Meaning what? Nix, meaning no. So yes, you see the concern. You should have come along with the contract document so that we see if this is in one lot, how many? There are 4 boreholes. There were 4, 5 boreholes. How many were successful? 2. 3 were unsuccessful. Now, the 2 which were successful completed, properly done. The 3 which were at 40%. Now, what is that 40%? Is it the 3 which were 40%? Since now you are saying they were at 40%, is it 40% of the total 5? Or it is 40% of the 3 which were not done?
It's 40% of the 5.
Okay.
So meaning we are remaining with 3 to be done in the balance remaining on the same.
Okay. In the interest of progress, the concern raised by Honorable Member, 2022 boreholes, that's when now you are signing this 2025, struggling to get a contractor. What is your comment? What is making this? Because water is life, and you have decided to give people water. 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. And even if you are signing the contract, we are not assured of the success that you, or maybe failure, proper execution of the project. What is a challenge in KABOMPO? Is it KABOMPO only, or it is the entire nation? You do it all, chat with your friends. What is the problem in this issue of borehole drilling or water litigation projects that councils we see are struggling to give people water? Yes.
Thank you, Chair, for that wonderful question. But let me just start by maybe depicting the scenario in KABOMPO. The major challenge that contractors for drilling of borehole face, it's a rock formation, the ground formation of the land. It's normally sandy, and the kind of equipment that is required is the one that is able to do a motor, which you call a mud drill. So it's very, very difficult to access this. But those that are managing are not relying on those big machines, but they are using those portable ones with an auxiliary water supply system. So this is the reason maybe we've been moving at such a slow pace.
Most of the people who have these rigs, once you specify that because of the terrain and the soil formation, you want mud drilling, and the cost is factored in mud drilling, different from ordinary drilling. Once you do that, they will come on board and do it. But you are leaving it open, knowing that you have a challenge. The situation in KABOMPO is different from other parts of the country. Yes, we have a problem. Now, the people who are expecting to be given water up to now, from 2022, monies are there. This is 2025. What lessons are you picking from there?
Yeah, the good counsel that you can pick is to try and maybe advise our committee to scale up and approve, I think, the costing above. Because if you look at the average cost of those boreholes, they were costing about 79,000. And normally there are debates on the cost of drilling boreholes. I think this is in public domain. So the matter, in fact, if you look at the contract at hand, we had even to engage the contractor on the contract management meeting to try and meet the amount of the budgeted amounts that were cost. We advertised, but those companies that were viable with big machines, because of the costing and the budgeting, they could not be inspired to come and take up this. No wonder we had a situation whereby these people that can afford, they moved in with so small equipment. And from what they have done, I think after 2015, they managed to that is a success story by Take's Lopez. So the lesson that we can pick is to try and discuss and convince our committees. If maybe we put the ball, more especially at the current situation, we need maybe an allocation of 150,000 for that ball if it's been successful from these big companies I submitted.
The other solution to this problem is to deal with the law, because the price of boreholes are expensive, because most of the Zambian contractors do not have the machinery. They depend on subcontracting. Our colleagues who are in they are the ones who have rigs. And if you go to, even in Lundazi, a borehole is costing less than 20,000 by those people. But if it is a Zambian contractor who may not have, it depends on getting a markup and also get rent from or subcontract these people. It becomes very expensive because to have a borehole at 150, the way you are recommending, is not economical. It's not good. It's beyond the price. We can get a borehole at 60, 70,000, 80,000. So we need to deal with the law. Maybe in future, generally, this is the problem. That's why I asked you that question, because the councils are struggling to get boreholes. The other way is to do is it Rukuru East or West? You buy your own rig, so that you are able to do these boreholes quicker. The councils in Rukuru, Mitete's neighbor, they have bought their own rig. We have, Chipangali, they have got their own rig. So if this is done, then people will have water. Next question. Dr. Manza, then Honorable Pavium.
Thank you, Chair. We go to take the committee to page 13. On page 13, there's construction of a 1x3 classroom and construction of staff house. Terminated contract. This contract was for 1x3 classroom block on the staff house at Matobu Primary School. Contract sum 381, 556 for a contract period of 4 months, July to November. Contractor was paid advance payment 95,000 kwacha and it disappeared. From the narration, council even reported the contractor to the police as somebody who obtained money by false pretext. Anyway, matter is under investigation, but the good news is that you procured another contractor who is currently working on this project. The first clarification I want to seek is what was the scope of work at this particular school? How many? What is the scope of work in terms of buildings? Are we talking of a staff house and a 1x3 classroom block, toilets, or what? What is the global master scope of work? Not individual items on a particular contract, but what was the scope of work that you signed for in this 381,556? I'll follow up questions later.
Thank you. CS? Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Doc, for that question. I think you quoted me correctly in my submission. I clarified the position that was stated by the auditors, that it was a slight off guard because they had quoted 2 projects in one. It is supposed to be the construction of a staff house. If you follow the narrative, it is now picked later on that it was the construction of a staff house. So it's a staff house that was costed at that amount, that was abandoned, then the advance followed, then the advertised and then put on course.
So this did not include the 1x3 classroom block?
Yes, it's just a staff house.
Okay. Then if we go to appendix 9, if we go to appendix 9, you have appendix 9, the second last 4 letters. So there's a letter, submission of response. It was written on 13th February 2025. It is from your office to the AG's office, Solwezi. Submission of responses on Constituency Development Fund for KABOMPO Town Council for the financial year ended 2023. Here you are saying management has since responded to the above query and wishes to state that the terminated contract of the construction of a 1x3 classroom block, classroom and construction of a staff house has since been re-advertised and attached advertisement. This is from your office to report to the provincial auditor's office. Why you still indicate that the project is there was 1x3 classroom block and a staff house? Clarifications.
Are you the one who authored this letter?
Yes, sir. This is the way it appeared in the Auditor General's report. So, it says there, Chair, was just to seek indulgence with the Auditor General because we had not received the status report after submitting the responses at the management. So, we thought maybe if it will be clarified, we'll be in a better position to indicate what is actually there. So, we didn't want to order, we wanted to put them on course because this is what they actually reported in their query submission.
At the time of engagement or during the process of audit, I mean the process where you engage letters, the DAP is done, you couldn't notice this.
The reason we submitted, Chair.
No, not about the letter, but at the time that the query was raised, you had sight of the query and you were preparing. Why didn't you clarify it and resolve it? That time you were engaging the auditors to say actually it's not a 1x3 classroom block plus a staff house, it's only a staff house. Because your letter here commits you to the query that indeed you are aware that this was a classroom and a staff house. Why didn't you engage? And if you did, what was the outcome?
Thank you, Chair. No wonder we attached that letter. We wanted to see clarity because after submitting the responses at management letter, we never received the status report to show where we are. So this is the reason we said maybe the Office of Auditor General can actually maybe also at some stage help us just to clarify. It's not a blame game, but would have allowed us to receive the status report because it would have guided us to respond after to the queries after that. Thank
you. Chair, yes, you are not helping yourself and the committee. The council is therefore report as I'm reading as it is, Zambia Limited to the authority for possible sanctioning or banning. The concern is, why didn't you clarify in this letter to the Auditor General's office, indicating what you have told your committee? You knew it was only a staff house, but in this letter, you still included the what? The 1x3 classroom block. Your interest was sanctioning. Now to your committee, no, it was only a staff house. To those who came to audit you and say 1x3 and a staff house, you did not tell them. So whom should we believe? You are becoming a witness to the Auditor General's office yourselves in this letter. You wanted them now to tell you to say, no, yes, it's only a staff house. CSC. Chair. CS and his team, they are witnesses to the Auditor General's office that what was queried stands correct. 1x3 classroom block and a staff house. But they've told your committee to say, no, it's only the staff house. Already now they now want, no, we just wanted to seek guidance from Auditor General's office, seek guidance. On top of that, the matter is still under investigation, but we've gone ahead. I would love to get to be educated why the matter is in court. You let it, it's good, but it's in court. Number three, they engage the lawyer. Do you have a legal personnel in KABOMPO or not? If you have, when did that officer report? Because this is 6th May. You are engaging a lawyer. All those. On page 13, I would love them to explain. My Honorable, first let them explain, then you also come.
Yes. So before they explain, I'll ask you to just answer one out of those 3 or 4. Do you have a legal officer at the council?
Yes, Chair. The Commission did justice this year. We received the appointment just this year, 2025. It's not much.
Is the officer here?
I'm just trying to we don't have the HR, the direct HR, but we can get in touch. We should have received the letter as much. Is able to avail
the legal officer among you?
No, they are attending a workshop in Solwezi.
Okay. So you have a legal officer, then you take the matter to court. You hire a lawyer. What is the meaning of that? When you are blessed with a legal personnel.
Yeah, this was before the appointment of the officer. So what we've done, we will go side by side. In the long run, our legal team will pick up down the matter.
Okay, before there was a hand from AG, she wanted to cry.
Come, Chair, so that we finish this one. They are saying if the HR was here, the legal personnel came around the match. So we use these things, yeah? So a legal officer match, you engage some private lawyers in May. How go?
Yes, this meeting is not just yours. You came with people. They should help you.
I'll repeat what he has said, though he was doubting, but said if we had asked the human resource, it's around March or thereabout. So thereabout
4 months, most of them posted.
Then in May this year, they are outsourced.
What pressure did you have for you to?
It was not necessarily pressure per se. These are the retained lawyers that are handling other matters where the council has been sued. So we thought of just also adding this responsibility on them to start the process in the event that after some time they will marry now with our officers that are on board.
The problem is that they're very expensive. That's why the commission has deployed or recruited legal personnel to help you on these simple matters. But you want to take it the most expensive way, and KABOMPO does not have money for such. That's why Honorable Mutero is wondering on behalf of this committee, but what is the sense behind this? When you have a legal personnel, you outsource very expensive service. So why? It's up to you, but it shows what you are trying to do. Tomorrow you want to say that we cannot pay salaries, we cannot deliver services, we don't have the money, we are paying legal fees. When there someone recruited and paid for the same purpose. That is not good management practice. And you have come a team here. Some of the technical things, ask your officers to help you. Most of the times you are attending workshops, these are the people who are on the ground. So ask them also, we want to see their competency technically. So I'll ask AG's office to make that comment on the issue of 1x3 classroom block vis-a-vis the staff house.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I would like to put it on record that we issued the status report. It was dated 2nd October 2024. But in our initial query, in the management letter, there were two projects, a 1x3 classroom block and a staff house by two different contractors. So along the way, the 1x3 classroom block was cleared. It was resolved, and then we remained with the staff house. So on this one, Chair, I would like to apologize that the part on the 1x3 classroom block should have been removed from the heading, and we should have remained with the staff house only. But this we communicated in the status report.
Thank you very much.
Chair.
Thank you very much for that clarification. But CS, did you see the status report?
This is the reason I submitted, Chair. Maybe I would make a passionate appeal to the Office of Auditor General to endeavor the copy as director. I think these letters, according to last submission, they are sent to the Ministry of Local Government, which are never shared with the councils. So I'm speaking from the so north, Chair. I may not lie. So
no,
this is where I would need us to.
Now you are saying the Ministry of Local Government is not helping you.
I don't know to say that's what this was.
Madam. These letters are sent to you directly. It's not true that they are sent to the Ministry of Local Government. These are sent directly to the councils. The problem that is there in the councils that you chief officers are moving a lot. You have no time to look at these things. The status reports are directly sent to councils, not the ministry. So we can't bring the ministry in the equation over this matter. So we know what happens in the councils. So even when you want to take up that position, you want to give defense, there is a lot in your office that you are not doing. So we are aware about that. So take interest. These letters are just sent direct to councils. It cannot only be KABOMPO. So do not bring in the ministry. The ministry is innocent and they are doing their part. Dr. Manza, then you come to Honorable Vyuma.
I just want to find out whether it is a standard practice when you are responding to, when you are reporting to the AG office, like the letter on Appendix 9 which we just read, you as the custodian of the project, in this letter you are saying management has since responded to the above query and wishes to state that they terminated the contract of the construction of 1x3 classroom and construction of staff house has since been re-advertised, and attached is the advert. I want to find out whether it is a standard practice that even if you've discovered that whether you received the status report or not, but you know that the fact about the project on site, that it is just involving a staff house. Now, you saw that the AG's office made that mistake to put a 1x3 classroom block as one package. Now, is it standard practice that you have to continue that error to report on based on the fact that the AG's office cited a 1x3, then you are there to continue writing the same mistake? Is it a standard practice that to auditors offices you cannot truth, to say our position on this particular project is that it's only a staff house, and hence we have only made the presentations of the staff house only to Parliament. Is that a standard practice that the auditor's general report cannot make a mistake, and that's untouchable, such that you have to because this is
yeah, you have stated your point.
Yes, no, this
is it a standard practice that when you see that error like this particular issue, you don't need to clarify it. You have to go with it up to the end. Is that a standard practice? Yes.
Well, not a chair, but it may not be a standard practice as to respond. It could have been an omission where maybe we didn't spell out to the auditors that this inclusion of a staff, like 1/3 staff from block could have been omitted. Though we did, I've explained in the response, but we should have actually brought to their attention.
The guidance here we can give you, yes, sorry, we don't have much time. The issue here, we have had situations where councils, even before appearing, they would engage the auditors to say, on this matter, this is the issue. And they would resolve, and the auditors will bring preliminary issues. Say, before we start, we realized we have discussed with the council, this matter is clarified in this ABCD. It has been done. But you just move with it. You don't have that. You have not invested in developing that relationship with auditors. What they have done, and you carry just your documents and you come here. This is what Dr. Mwanza is trying to say. So you can clarify these issues even before appearing. These things have been done and we have been dealing with them. So next time, that's how you should proceed. These auditors are your partners. They're trying to come. They're not policemen. They're coming to see how you're doing things, and you can clarify. However, we haven't seen the status report, but this is what happened. Oh, let us see it. Then let us advise the committee. They will come before you enter this meeting. So that's how you should deal with these matters. On this matter, we move to the next. No, Dr. Mwanza, we have exhausted.
Because this matter is reported to police. And when I've looked at the timelines, this contract was ending on the 12th November 2023. Then the contract was terminated on 15th November 2023. That is just 2 days after 3 days after the official completion date. Then my question is, why didn't council cash the advance payment bond? Because the time that they terminated the contract was within the validity period of the advance payment bond.
It is important.
It is just within. The contract was signed on 12th July 2023, ending on 12th November 2023, and the contract was terminated on 15th November. All advance payment bonds, the period of validity covers the period of construction.
Okay, let's hear from the direct engineering. Do you have direct engineering?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chair. As at that time, the bond had expired.
How? Just on the 3rd November 15. Yes. 3rd to 15th. 12 days. It was within the validity period of the bond.
May I invite the Director of Finance who was privy to the bond?
Who was the engineer at that time?
He is on suspension.
Because of the same. Okay. Let's have the DF. Why did you claim? These are monies, you know, these look to be small issues, but they are very serious issues. We want every penny of the monies that are given to us by government to be used for the benefit of the people of KABOMPO and the people of Zambia. So why did you cash this bond?
Thank you very much. I would like to mention that the performance bond had actually expired because the contract had run away on the site. So when it was discovered, it was reported through the committee, and that's the reason why you see just 3 days after the matter being reported to the police. It's because of the nature of the project. I submit.
Dr. Mwanza, how is the relationship of the contractor running away from the site to his bond expiring? A bond is provided to your office at a time before actually it is kept on what they call local key. So you, during the construction period up to July to November, you noted your office is supposed to note the period of when the bonds will expire, and in that case, what do? You've got to write to the contractor to renew. And in this case, it's a bit strange that the contract was terminated within the contract period. His contract period was up to 12th November, and you terminated on 15th November, which basically is within the contract period. Why do you supervise the renewal of the advance payment bond? You know for sure, engineer, that the advance payment is recovered based on the progressive IPCs. So it is within the contract period, is still executing the works. The advance bond should be valid up to the time that he completes the project. So right now, you have reported the matter to police and to arbitration, over 95,000 kwacha, which the cost of injunction of arbitration would be more than this 95,000. When you had an opportunity during the contract period to cash the bond.
Yes, you see the issues there. Do you know what you are supposed to do? Do you understand what you are supposed to do as a management team? This contractor, he runs away. How much engagement was there? But within his period,
for the sake of progress, the substantive engineer who was at the helm of all this is on suspension. So we may move.
Thank you. But you see, a word to you, Council Secretary. Can you be managing the council properly? That's my word. We are losing resources because of negligence. Okay. Next question. Oh, Honorable Pavima, yes.
Thank you very much, Chair. Before I go to my substantive question, Chair, I wanted to make a comment on the previous question on the balls which were undervalued, where the CSC is accusing the CDFC committee. Chair, this issue should come to an end, where councils are trying to hide their inefficiencies in the CDFC committees, because a meeting to allocate funds can only be called if the engineer's estimates, all the estimates are done.
Correct.
So you go in those meetings with all the estimates. So where do you lose it? And why should you as a technocrat, why should you process something that is below the estimates? So please don't hide your inefficiencies in the CDFC committees. Mr. Chair, we should also add one permanent witness, Zambia Qualification Agent, so that this committee can be awarding an honorary doctorate degree for procedural propriety, so that these people can add their qualifications. With your indulgence, Chair, page 7. The query, variation without authority.
Let's go page 7, yes.
The first query?
Yes, on top there.
Yes. Chair, here we are told that clause 7.420 of the CDF guidelines stipulates that an amendment or variation to a contract should not be affected without the approval of the Treasury and the legal advice of the Attorney General. And now, Chair, contrary to this guideline, the Council amended the contract by the sum of 76,056 watcher without approval from the Treasury and the advice from the Attorney General. So in their cause of query, Chair, they are saying management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's report and wishes to state that the query was caused by non-submission of variation of contract to the Treasury and Attorney General. And on the action taken, they are telling us that variations have since been approved by the controlling officer via the delegated authority from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. So, and they have referred us to Appendix 4 as where the evidence is sitting. Now, before we go to where the evidence is sitting, my first question would be, which date did you value these funds, 76? Did you amend this contract? Which date was this contract amended? And again, which guideline you have exhibited on Appendix 4? You have exhibited 2 circulars. You have not specified the circular. You have just said based on the circular. So which circulars amongst the 2 that you have exhibited? Then where is the CDFC approval? On the same exhibit, I can't see CDFC. Did you just sit on your own with your technocrats to make this approval, avoiding the CDFC? For now, those questions, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vyuma. Those are very simple and clear questions. We need clear responses.
Thank you, Chair, for I think a good question from the voice of Sakile. First and foremost, Chair, I would want to indicate that I think the variation, if you look at the attachment that we have referred to in the 2 amendments and the acts done, they speak to the efforts that the government put in place to try and remove the rigidities in the process of procurement.
Just go to the point. We understand.
So the
rationale of these changes in the approval system was trying to make sure that the projects are done expeditiously, and you have stated very well. So can you tell us references that you used?
At the time of execution, Chair, the authority was still in place by circular reference as Treasury and Financial Management, circular number 6 of 2023. If we peruse through that one, that's on page 2, section 3.2, indicates that in line with section 4.3 of PFM, Act number 1 of 2018, the controlling officer of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development is therefore authorized by the Secretary of Treasury to approve the variation of estimate of expenditure. It's based on this where, Chair, the Ministry of Local Government, who is the controlling officer at Ministry, appointed Council Secretary sub-warrant orders to execute this in the interest of...
It was dated before the... When was the variation done? That was the first question.
Just to assist the Council Secretary.
Then CS, switch off your mic.
Sure, thank you. The variation was done on 7th of September 2023, as even acknowledged and pointed out by the Office of the Auditor General, and the circular was released on 1st of February 2023. So the circular, 7th of September 2023, and the circular was released on 1st of February 2023. So that is where we got an authority to do the variation.
Okay. Where are the minutes for the CDF approval? Those are the minutes. The circular is on appendix what? Appendix 4. Is it the one referred to the ZPPA? The third one, after ZPPA? So when the minutes are dated,
September 2020.
Dr. Maza?
This contract, the construction of healthy posts in Mulunda, something. So now, page 6. This is the origin. No. This is just a follow-up. This particular contract, council adjusted the price by 23.8%, which is a variation, and the reason is as on Appendix 4, where you are stating that the 76,056 is as a result of the escalation material cost due to lapse in time during implementation of the project. This variation was it backed by the contract conditions, because all CDF contracts, they are fixed price contracts. You are not backed by any law or any article in the contract to do price adjustment within the contract period. No, variation is only done when you are including a different scope of work. You are adding another bedroom, or you are so. But to change the cost of material is breach of contract.
Let's hear from them, Doc. Yes, how do you understand the issue of variation, especially pertaining to change of prices for material?
Thank you, Chair. I got the doc correctly. The variation is actually relates to the additional material that may come when the contracts are already approved. But if you see in our submission, it is coming as an approval because the project is valid, that we don't have funds sitting. So no wonder it went for ratification and for consideration at the CDFC to add additional funding in.
I'm lost to what you are saying. I'm not following you. Here there are two issues. Doc has said, according to law, and which we want you to deal with, challenge it or correct us or say something. A variation is only permitted or allowed when you are having additional scope of work, because most of the contracts are fixed price contracts. They are all standardized. You fix your price of cement, you see, then you bid, then you win. But if there is a price change in the market, you cannot permit a variation, because your contract was a fixed price contract. You said this I can do under this, unless you terminate and re-tender. Is that correct?
Yes, Chair. In fact, that's a position. If you've been following the presentation, the contract was first awarded and terminated, where there's a claim of refund of 36,000, I think, in the presentation. Then before awarding, the variation came in to add funds sufficiently to enable the contract to be executed. So no wonder the matter went to CDFC for approval of additional funding coming to the amount where we felt the project can be executed.
Who was claiming the 36,000? The client of the contract.
No, it is a council. If you look at the presentation, there is a contract. There is a terminated contract where the contractor progresses up some stage of termination. But when
did you get
no, on the other query you find, I think I've made the presentation on the other query.
Okay, did you recover the money?
We have started the process, although we are still in the
Did you recover the money?
We have not recovered one that we've engaged.
From 2023?
We have not yet. We are still in the process.
What process? Can you show us the letter of that you wrote to the contractor? No,
in addition to or not to the question you're asking, maybe the documents here have the first engagement and then the latest engagement.
Honorable, welcome. CS, you don't have that engagement with the contractor. It's being suggested that call your office to bring those engagement letters. Because you see, we are noting that you, KABOMPO Council, you are very negligent in the way you are running these projects. Money are just, here is a contractor who owes the council for the works not done. You cannot claim them, the money. These are resources to help the people of KABOMPO, not yourselves. So if these contractors are your friends, you just terminate, you don't recover the monies that are outstanding, then we have a problem. Are you the officers that are going to change KABOMPO? We start doubting. Because look at this. This report is a bad report, and we haven't even time. Just your presentation took long. You know what it means. Your friends come here with 2 queries, but this can tell you what type of management you are running in KABOMPO. So why haven't you recovered the money that is owed to the council by this contractor? This is 2025. The process you're talking about is just available. You are in the process. What process? What did we pick as a committee? We want you to recover the money. Did you give the same contractor after termination?
Chair, we gave another contractor.
Say, why haven't you recovered the money? So we are directing you, whether you are connected to that contractor, go and recover that money. All the money is owed to the council on behalf of the people of KABOMPO by these contractors. Institute measures to recover this money. Next question.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, if the circular that has been referred to was in force at that time they were amending this contract, why didn't they avail the documents to the auditors? Why does this thing appear? Why didn't you avail the documents, the circular itself, and all the necessary documents? Because they are even acknowledging that you have just amended, you have just now followed the due process. Why didn't you avail those documents, everything, to the auditor to show that indeed you had followed that circular if it was enforced at that particular time? Thank you, Chair.
Simple question, simple answer.
Chair, if you look at the auditor followed the CDF guideline, I think it gives a different provision and the act contained in the initial public financial management.
Yes, the question is, the way you're explaining here, why didn't you explain the same to the auditors and also avail the same circular if it was enforced? Yes, it's the guidelines they are following. But why didn't you avail at the time of audit? Why didn't you avail of that evidence?
Let me allow Honorable Member who has just joined us for Karurush to introduce herself.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, KABOMPO. My name is Kampamba Mlenga, Member of Parliament for the good people of Kalurush. You're welcome.
Thank you, Honorable. Yes, I said it's a simple question, and it deserves a simple answer. The auditors came, you had a secular. They picked the query of unlawful variation. But you had the law with you. So, auditors, this is what made us to do this variation. And we did it ourselves, based on this guidance from the ministry. Why didn't you do that?
Thank you very much. I think we did, if you just go to the attachment on appendix number 4, there is a letter that we had sent on the 13th of February 2024, when we had noticed that we wrote a letter for the submission of the response on the CDF for KABOMPO Council on the delayed construction of the health post.
You wrote to?
We wrote to the Auditor General Solwezi, and they had even acknowledged the receipt of the same. I submit.
Next question. Dr. Manza.
Page 9. The construction of a health post at Chatunga. Chair, with the behavior of KABOMPO Council in terms of contract management for community projects is showing that financial management on projects is really lacking. And the trend is the same. So on page 9, it's a project for community construction of health post. This contractor paid advance payment and abandoned the site. And on the 24th April, the procurement committee resolved to terminate the contract, citing fundamental breaches to the contract due to stoppage of works by the contractor. This date, 24th April 2023, was exactly 3 days after the contractual expiration date. The contract was supposed to expire on 18th April 2023, and on the 24th April, the contract was terminated. And now they're struggling to recover the advance payment. The same situation like at the primary school where there's the construction of a staff house. The same question comes to the council. Why? What was the situation of the advance payment bond for the Chatunga health post? Because you terminated the contract whilst it was within the period of construction. You have engaged another contractor, Venchinko Investment Limited, and you have given the contract on 21st February 2024 to 21st May 2024 at a contract sum of 351,962, which is the exact contract price that the first contractor, Baraka Traders, signed the contract for. Looking at the past history through the variation that you did at another project, why is the price at Chatunga health post the same with the price that Baraka Traders signed the contract for? That is 1 year later. On this particular project, there are no material escalation costs.
Thank you. Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair.
Do you have procurement here?
Yes, Chair.
which I need your attention. Let's start with direct engineering.
Thank you, Chair. According to Appendix 6. At the time of the closing of the account, the value of the works done, they were coming to 51,009.
Speak up, eh?
As at the time the account was being closed, the value of works done were coming to 51,964. And
where is that? Appendix 6.
There's an IPC.
Only Appendix 1.
Appendix 6 is an IPC. The first document.
We can't read here, but what I see is 96,000 and 20. Is this the same? Baraka Traders and the Contractors Limited. Is this the IPC?
Yes, sir.
So where is the 51?
Closing account.
The close of accounts, yeah. Where is the 51 here? Have you seen it, Dr. Mansa?
I just read the cover letter. But the IPC...
The details of payment.
The IPC, you cannot see anything because it's blurred in there. Yes, I just see the cover letter, which is on Appendix B, Appendix 6, where termination... the subject is termination of contract for the construction of a post, blah, blah, blah. Now, attached here to is the final certificate of which the total works on site are estimated to be 15%, amounting to 51,961. Yes, and so the final account you are settling is that the contractor is supposed to pay back 86,000.
This is 36, eh?
Yes.
So Blair, you can't read anything properly then.
So, but this new contractor, Rechinko, on page 9, his contract sum is the exact. If we go to page 9, you see the contract sum is 351,962, and the Baraka Traders also signed the contract at 351,962.
Yes, are we together? Yeah. Can we have a response to that? Baraka, the contract was 351 at 962. Then he terminated. You couldn't recover 36,000 kwacha. Then you give the second contractor 1 year later again same amount. No difference. What is the reason? You didn't know about that. Before you come in, Honorable Kampamba.
Thank you, Chair. Looking at page 9, for me, I'm made to believe maybe there are two health posts in one area. Because yes, the amount of money that is being spent on one health post should amount to two health posts. Do we have two health posts in one area? Because it's a redoing of the same project, which is a loss on council.
No, you're right. That's a question. One health post, but you are bringing two same amount figures on one health post. What is the reason? amount? Director Finance. Procurement. Maybe we hear from procurement. How are you procuring this? Procurement comes somewhere. We hear from you. You can squeeze your chair somewhere there. Yeah, you can sit next to. Yes.
Chair, the major reason there, I think, when you just try to follow through, the first contract was awarded in January 2023, and now the second contract was awarded in February 2024, and there was a lapse of time of about 1 year. And now when you look at where we are coming from in terms of prices and inflation, you can actually agree with me that we had a hiccup, especially when we had droughts. So most of the prices went high. So no wonder we went by
Let's give him a chance. Doc.
Yes.
Let's
by
you are protected.
Yes, by the the same prices.
Inflation.
Yes, it was just due to inflation.
Same ways, same amount. Were there some works done by Baraka?
I think on that the engineer will come in.
Yeah, because it should have informed your statement. Because you were just speaking without knowing whether Baraka at the point of termination there was some works, even excavation, whatever works. Engineer, this health post, did Baraka do any works?
Yes, Chair, he did.
Up to what level?
Slab level.
Slab level. Now, what was the scope that this other second contractor was to do? It's very strange and unprofessional. If you're giving and there is inflation that you have talked about and other factors, you cannot give the same contract after a year, same amount, everything. The first contractor who even did some works.
Okay, sorry, Chair. I don't know if I can have. Chair, on the other end, it's just unfortunate because on the prices, these are determined by the contractors, and whenever they come through the procurement, you find that it's us we just evaluate basing on their submission, and they are not imposed on the contractors. Maybe I also want to just add that.
I will ask Honorable Kambamba to make a follow-up question.
Thank you, Chair. Baraka was the scope of work and the scope of work for the other contractor are just exactly the same. Engineering, the scope of work is exactly the same. There's been no variation in the scope of work, making the works exactly as the first contractor given. And I'm a bit worried with this council because there is an engineer's estimate. A contractor cannot come in and work in any area and just say these are our prices and you agree. So for me, I'm very, very worried and very frightened because you are simply telling us anybody can walk in that council and bring in an estimate dependent on them. That is what you are telling us. Is it procurement or engineering? Which is very, very worrisome. Any scope of work has an engineer's estimate. You people budget. When you are in the CDF committee, there is an allocation, isn't it? Okay, we're going to give 200 to the health post. So when and even if there was inflation 100% within a year, then we are in trouble as a country. If every year it will be double the price. So for me, it's not making a lot of sense. Chair.
Indeed, you have spoken our minds, all of us. We are worried. And as I observed, I said, yes, there's a problem in terms of management. We start wondering whether you are competent enough to handle the affairs of... Because it can't be. And there were some works done. The engineer confirms that there were some works done by this first contractor called Baraka on this health post. So works were done, and you are even claiming 36,000 quarter overpayment, which you have not recovered. This is the trend. You give, you terminate works which are overpaid, the council does not recover. You tell us that you are in the process. Then another contractor, as the Honorable Kambamba has indicated, you have the engineer's estimates. You know the works which were done already. This contractor cannot bring a price that is equal to the same scope of work, the same scope of works that were already done, some of them. What is it that you are trying to tell? This is strange and is happening to us as a committee for the first time from this council. At least your friends, they will show some level of competence and the smartness, and they tell you that these works were already done, so this contractor, due to this reason, this is what the new price was. And even if these contractors come, you give them leakage. This is can you do exact living ways? Then we are in trouble. The country is in trouble. KABOMPO people are in trouble. We need to help KABOMPO. So, Dr. Mwanza, as we wind up.
Just on the same line, just to put you into a very nice, clear picture. Baraka traders, when they bid for this project, their bid document, the price was 351,962. That was the evaluated price. Best evaluated bidder was Baraka Traders. 1 year later, another contractor at Chinko Investment submits his bid for the same project, and the amount is 351,962. How possible is it? Is it that the Baraka's document was just given to the Chinko? What is the relationship between the Chinko and the Baraka traders? When you have just confirmed that there was even some little work that was done up to slab level. So how come arithmetically that the amount that the Chinko has put there is exactly to the point of 351,962? Is it possible? What is the rationale behind that?
Procurement.
Where is the, maybe you have to give us the big document.
Anyway, we have labored on this one. The best is the people of KABOMPO are watching you, and the people of Zambia are watching you. This committee is very disappointed with how you are managing the issues in KABOMPO. They are not helping. I have a number of questions as I wind up. I will be taking you to page by page. You note, then at the end of the presentation, then you can comment. Some of them, like delayed completion of Kalunga, I think this was done. It was not done. You have so many projects that were losing money. Every project you lose money and you don't recover. We don't know what is the connection that you have with these contractors. I will just go where yeah. There is irregular amendments, variations without approval, page 17. You cited the same instruction from the ministry, and it was strange that the director of finance was making us read a letter that you wrote to auditors. You didn't, that did not refer, that letter did not refer to the clauses that, or to the clauses that were in the circular from the ministry. The letter that you were reading had nothing to do with the issue at hand. It was something else you are communicating to the auditors. So it is one of the issues, yes, that you need to take note. Contracts valid without approval. There are about 5 which were cited. And the question is, if you had the authority to vary, auditors picked these as queries. Why didn't you show the auditors to say, please drop these? We had the authority, and the minutes from the CDFC are here.
But because you have made this appearance a tradition, just to come and make allowances, you wouldn't want to engage with the auditors. You think that coming here you expose or embarrass auditors. No, the auditors are doing a good job. You are the ones who are failing. You want to come and make an oral presentation here. When you are meeting auditors, you avoid auditors, you don't attend, you are busy with workshops, then auditors pick issues, you can't even follow them to their offices. It's always to drop some of the queries which are straightforward. But because you lose allowances, you will not come to this session. That's the culture that is there. Failure to follow procurement procedures. On page 19, the variation of the authority of the council to do variation is equal to 250,000 kwacha. But you want to vary more than what you are authorized to do. You want to cite the same authority. When you know for sure, on page 14, failure to follow procurement procedures. The threshold for procurement the delegated authority of the council secretary for procurement of goods and services was 250,000 kwacha. But compared to the act, the council procured 7 banana boats at a total cost of 256,900, which was above the delegated authority without following procurement procedures. This is your council. Procurement, you are there. The council secretary is there. The whole team, you do these things as if you are in your own world. So, you are running your own system away from the government guidelines. Failure to avail clearance certificates for suppliers. Contrary to the Act, the Council procured 1,332 two-seater desks at a cost of 1,993,800 from 15 suppliers. However, the council did not avail tax clearance certificates for these suppliers. The law is very clear. These suppliers, whether they are local, they are supposed to follow religiously all the documents that are supposed to be there. But they don't have tax clearance certificates, then you go ahead and do. And here the council has even, I was listening saying, no, these are local, they mistook tax clearance to tax, what? I don't know what he said. Tax certificates, I don't know what he said. You cannot do that. You have qualified people, procurement officers, who are able to distinguish between a tax certificate and tax clearance, whatever document. The two are different documents. And the law says one to qualify to participate must have these documents. And you are taking to check, do they have? If not, you ask them to go back and bring the correct documents. If they have done that, you meet the auditors. Auditors, these people now we have, they drop these queries. But for you, it is okay. You are not even ashamed to have so many queries that take you 1 hour just to present before even you go to cross-cutting issues. That should move your emotions to say, what type of leaders are we? You watch your friends when they come here. Sinazongwe, Chembe, Tafiwe. They come here within a short period, a few queries. Meaning that the monies are benefiting those constituencies. Money is being utilized prudently. But for you, this does not move you. Unaccounted for stores. Contrary to the regulation, stores items costing 209,515, comprising general stores 70,970, fuel 138,545, procured during the period under review were unaccounted for, in that there were no receipts and disposal details. Accounting, director of finance, a problem. Engineering, a problem. General administration, a problem. Procurement, a problem. This is about accounting for resources. As I come to
towards the end. Failure to account for funds. 2 cooperatives, GPO. These cooperatives, one of them, they applied to venture into a drugstore. You approved 40,000 kwacha. A drugstore in KABOMPO. You can't see it running or not. It's not running. If it is running, you can't follow up. This is a query. Then failure to recover loans. And according to this report, 36 recipients, number of recipients making payments, you paid loans to 36 people or companies for a period 2 to 3 months. That was the default period. Amount issued, you issued 5,873,196. Amounts to be recovered within this period. You were supposed to have recovered 1,280,554. Amounts repaid. None of them paid anything. And yet you have been following the Minister of Local Government that the people who get loans must pay back. Are you the officers who are going to enforce government directives? Not only government directives, that's why you were employed. You give loans, someone should pay back. So you want the minister to be singing every day, to come to KABOMPO, can you recover loans? And yet you are the ones who know the people who obtain the loans. They pay back so that you give other people who are on the list in KABOMPO. That is the spirit. But you're not doing that. New was repaid. So, generally, this is the picture. The last one is on the last page. The one you read. I got moved. I said, what is happening? Beneficiaries of secondary school boarding skills, bursaries, not pursuing skills development courses. Here in KABOMPO, I don't know, maybe we may be asking for too much. In other councils, they even know which course is supported by CDF, which courses are not permitted. And if you are in doubt, you call the Ministry of Local Government for guidance. You don't do that. You are paying for courses, engineering, whatever. Then you say, no, there was a problem, we couldn't distinguish which ones. Then why are you there? Why is the government there? For you, before you pay, you seek for guidance, clearance. We have these children who are pursuing these courses. Are they eligible to be paid for? The ministry will guide you because guidelines are there. Then council secretary, with your comfort, to come and tell you, no, this is what we paid. It's business as usual. Why are we doing that? Anything you have the provisional government officer. If you are not cleared, you call the Minister of Local Government. There is Director Local Government Administration, Mr. Havanji. You can call the 2 PSCs for guidance. But you don't do that, you pay those students, and you cannot recover that money. No, we made a mistake. Where is the planner? Do you have a planner here?
I'm here, Chair.
Why did you do this? And even audit section, I just wanted to sort of question, why did you allow this without seeking clearance? When I reached this point, I even boasted that I think you have got very good officers. And even these MPs have got very good officers, because we don't have such cases. The officers in some of these councils, most of these councils, they would do this. Verify. But you, because you are far away from the ministry, you are doing your own things. So this is in a nutshell what I thought I should mention. After reading this report in the night, I was literally moved and frightened, as Honorable Kambamba said. Do we have the managers or officers who are running these councils, helping the people of KABOMPO? The MP and the CDF committee, they end up just making recommendations, they making, then you pick it up. The problem and the danger to CDF are you officers. This is not just being unfair to you. You are a danger. You find a council with the proper officers. These councils are doing very well. But you will find with the some of you there, this is a case. This is the reality. You do. Yeah, this is a reality. Yes, you are a danger to the CDF. And we shall report you to the president and the government. In KABOMPO, these are dangerous people. I'll tell the minister this afternoon, not later not. So with that said, I thought that I should mention that Mr. Karunga, go back and put your house in order. This is not very good. The immunity is withdrawn. From now on, you are on your own. You're a new team.
We're a new team, sir.
Oh,
just riding on me.
You're lucky. Thank you.
watching Parliament, the television that was inside the committees. That was the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and they are considering the report of the Auditor General on Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And making submissions this morning was KABOMPO District Council, which is being led by Council Secretary Mr. Anthony Kalonga. And coming up next, we have Kalungira Town Council, which is also expected to make a submission to the council. So keep watching Parliament Television as we continue bringing you Parliament closer to the people through the committee meetings that are sitting and considering the committee